Welcome to the Movie Draft Podcast. I am Ethan Simmie, and today I am joined by four marvelous guests. First up is a returning guest of the show, Jonathan Fuji.
Hello. Yeah, Ethan texted me and he's like, yo, you're a loser. You should come on the Best Picture loser drafts. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense, actually. I'd love to.
Yeah. Way to out the reason that we're all here right out of the gate is that we're all just losers. That's so rude of you. Another returning guest, Bobbi Miller.
Hi. So happy to be here. So happy to lose again. Very excited to lose again.
The thing about this draft is, though, somebody will win. But now you guys are convincing me, like, maybe we don't put out a poll, is what I'm hearing. Like, maybe we just all lose together. And then we have two first-time guests to the pod. First up is Sophia Ciminello.
Thank you so much for having me. I can't wait to lose, just like most of my favorite movies at the Oscars.
Yeah, that checks out, quite honestly. That is the history of the Academy Awards. And finally, Daniel Joyaux.
Yeah,
I tried my best, Daniel.
That's all right. Joyaux, very happy to be here. We've been circling this for a while, so I'm excited.
Absolutely.
This is my first official draft podcast.
Yes, I'm thrilled that all of you are here to join me in losing, because today we are drafting Best Picture losers in a regular style draft. I feel like, so there's five of us, and I feel like five people constitutes a mega draft, I guess. So generally, like, welcome to the Drafting Thunderdome. In this case, welcome to the Mega Drafting Thunderdome. Jonathan, it's not in the notes, but I'm gonna throw it to you first because you are no stranger to the mega draft. It seems like you keep coming back for all of the big ones.
Yeah. I guess you just like my my chaotic energy, or
Sure.
you just like when I lose a lot. I mean, I can't tell exactly what our relationship is with this movie draft, but yeah, I'm on with like 5 or 6 people consistently.
Yeah, I mean, quite honestly, having more people on with you means there's a better shot that you're going to lose. So really, that's what it's all about.
That's fair, yeah.
Is not giving you too good of a shot to win, because last time you were on the pod, you did win the 2022 auction draft with, frankly, a team that is should have been unallowed. Like, should have just absolutely been vetoed from the start.
Okay. I mean, again, loser energy already incoming from the host. So, I just want to flag that immediately at the beginning here. Everyone.
Yeah. I mean, look, it was my fault. I gave you Decision to Leave. I gave you Nope. I gave you those movies.
Thank you.
And it still hurts me to this very day. Sophia, your first time on the pod. Such a pleasure to have you. You come recommended by friends of the pod, so it comes with a little bit of pressure, to be honest. Are you ready? Are you ready to take on the feat that is the Movie Draft Podcast?
I am so excited. I love a draft, and I feel like for this one that we have today, there's so many good choices. So I really am going to follow my heart, I think, to draft a team of some of my favorite picks. But yeah, I'm thrilled to be here and can't wait. I think this will be chaotic and a lot of fun.
Sophie Holsinger noticeably missing from this draft. We were talking before we started recording. You were recording from New York, so you were filling in a little bit of that New York representation that Sophie fills here on the show. Also drafting with the heart. That's Sophie's thing. So Sophie for Sophia.
Here we go.
I couldn't love it anymore. Bobbi, welcome back to the draft. The last time you were here, we did the 1990s collaborative draft. I still haven't seen any of the movies that you recommended to me, and I probably never will. So, hi.
Wow.
Yeah, thanks. No, I don't know why you ask me on these podcasts to tell me 5 times in a row that you're just not going to watch very popular animated films, Ethan.
It's not my fault they're animated. That's what are we going to do?
Why do I keep coming on this show?
In all seriousness, Bobbi, it is a pleasure to have you. I'm very excited that you are here. A regular draft, a little bit different structure than a collaborative draft. So are you feeling like you're prepared for the kind of change in drafting mode here?
I'm more prepared for this type of draft than I was the last one, because I learned the rules when you were saying them on the air. So this one I did prep, if that's what you mean.
Sure. Yeah. That's fair. You did DM me earlier asking a clarifying rule, so you were pushing that boundary a little bit of learning the game as soon as we pod. So
I'm curious what the clarifying rule question was.
It was, you go.
No, go ahead. I just, I didn't know if we could divulge. strategy or not yet?
No, yeah. I was just asking, like, was it any movie that just like basically the only ineligible movies were ones that won Best Picture, which would leave open every movie ever made. So I just wanted to clarify that, like what were the rules in that regard? So I got clarification that it was like basically we're just picking from the nominees who didn't win.
I did have that thought too.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, this is going to be so easy.
You guys are really trying to push the boundaries.
Bring it on, like the poster behind you.
Could have drafted Bring It On. I just would have drafted the worst team imaginable and been like, well, it didn't get an Oscar. So, duh.
I honestly never thought of it that way. And now that you frame it in that way, the title of this pod should probably be re-upped. We should probably think of a better clarifying position. And the last guest, Daniel, this is your first time on the pod. You said we've been circling this for a while. We have been circling this for a while. I met you back in September at TIFF briefly as we were both kind of on our way hurriedly, I don't know, very quickly going to next screenings. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I was supposed to be on a pod with you guys in November, and I ended up in the ER that night because my dogs got in a fight. I was separating my dogs.
Oh, wow.
So that didn't work out. But yeah.
But you're here now.
I am here now. We became online buddies a few years ago when I wrote a Ringer piece about how to fix the Oscars. And we finally met at TIFF last year, I think, in line for Anora. Yeah,
definitely. Anora, that's a movie. Yeah, that's a movie that we saw at TIFF. I saw that with Jonathan at TIFF as well.
And not an eligible movie for tonight because it won Best Picture.
Exactly. Yes. Not an eligible movie for tonight in the Best Picture losers draft. So that is what we are drafting. We are drafting movies that have been nominated for Best Picture, but have not won, that are in fact the losers of the Best Picture nomination. Sophia, you mentioned that you like a lot of Best Picture losers. You like a lot of the movies that have not won Best Picture. My question is a little leading. It's a little probing, but I still have to ask it anyway because I'm going to throw it to everybody. Is there one or two that maybe, you cherish the most or have good memories of or should have won or any information you're willing to divulge about how you feel about Best Picture losers?
Yeah, I mean, I do. Like I said, I love a Best Picture loser. I think my sweet spot of award season is really the critics' time. I always say, I'm like, oh, this is so wonderful. Look at all these good movies winning everywhere. Look at these performances that are out there and from international films winning things. And then we hit the industry awards and that starts to wane a little bit for me. But I always have hope. And I think I put these movies, without giving away my strategy too much, I kind of put these movies in two categories, which are like my disappointments, which I think could actually win but end up losing, and then my happy to be theirs. So I'm going to share a happy to be there, not to give away too much. I'm going to go with The Zone of Interest, actually, which was a recent one. I thought that was just a really incredible film. And when it premiered, I've loved the films of Jonathan Glazer for a really long time. And then I think just seeing that, it just felt like such a different type of movie to get a Best Picture nomination. So I'm hedging a little bit, not revealing too much. So I'm just going to say that one.
I would be thrilled if you came out of the gate and your first pick was The Zone of Interest. I think that would be a great play. I think it's a very savvy strategy move.
Yeah, I'm going to use a different strategy, I think, but if this gives you any information, there you go.
Okay. Not really, but I'll try to get the same information out of Jonathan. I know you, unfortunately, not eligible in this draft because it was never nominated for Best Picture, rightfully so. But I'm sure that you wish Wonka was here, right?
Yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, Wonka is better than a lot of movies on this list here.
Yeah.
This is obviously you trying to get some strategies out of all of us, which is just gross. So I will not participate in this. Instead, I will say the two films I really hold close to my heart are Bohemian Rhapsody and Belfast. I really love those movies. I was very disappointed that they didn't.
That's gross. You are gross. That's crazy. How dare you take my wonderful hosting question and throw it back to me like this?
I know what you're doing, Ethan. Right? I know what you're doing.
I thought about doing that, but it felt very bold for a first-time guest. So I'm really glad that you did it.
I got you.
No, call him out.
Yeah, not okay. Not okay. This is exactly what I expected from you, though. So I'm happy that you're in full form and fashion here. Bobbi, same question to you. Best Picture losers, what's your affinity with them? Any happy to be here's you want to toss out to let the listeners know where the vibe might be today?
Yeah, let the listeners know where the vibe might be.
Yeah. Oh, this is not about me. No, not at all.
Yeah.
I never win anyway, so I'm just here to have a good time. Happy to be here, really.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'll say, without giving anything to you, Ethan, is that I had not difficulty, but I realized that a lot of movies that I love were nominated and lost in different categories. So I'm much more of a like best original, best adapted screenplay girl, and a best costume design girl. Like those are the two categories I'm excited for every single year. And so like, for example, it's not eligible, but for the 90s category, I really wanted to choose Election. But it was because it was nominated for best adapted screenplay, but was not nominated for best picture, so I couldn't pick it. But yeah,
I wrote a Roger Ebert piece last year about the 25th anniversary of Election and how apt and appropriate, like how well it stood up to time. Great movie.
I think I read that piece and I really enjoyed it. So like this is very fun. But yeah, I love that movie.
Okay. Kudos to you for skirting the whole question and giving me great insight into your movie.
You're so welcome.
That honestly, that was great. Daniel, same question. What do you got? What do you got for me?
Yeah. I'm not going to name any movies, but I'll tell you that I joined Letterboxd, I think 5 years ago, and I've had the same Letterboxd top 4 for that entire 5-year span. 2 of those top 4 are eligible for this draft. One of them, if I don't get, I will be devastated and I will fight someone on here.
Okay. Geez, that's
Good
a little
luck
intense.
to anyone who might accidentally pick it.
I'm really worried.
I actually have a really compelling case for why I'm the person that deserves that movie. If someone tries to draft it out of me,
deserves that movie.
We'll see if it comes up.
Exactly the point that I was going to get to here, Jonathan. This is episode 69 of the Movie Draft Podcast, and if we have learned anything over 69 episodes, it's that nobody deserves a movie. It's just an absolute bloodbath. Every single episode, you get what you get.
There's a movie that I deserve.
I need to look up his letterbox, honestly.
Now is when things change. This is the moment that the Movie Draft Pod was never the same again. I respect that. Okay, I'm not going to answer my own question for the same reasons that you guys posed. I don't want to give anything away. I will say that going through these lists, some cool movies. I think there's some really cool movies that we can draft, and I think we're going to have some really good conversations about the things that could have been. And I wonder if that conversation will then eventually skew towards, could you imagine if this had won Best Picture 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 25 years ago, where would the Academy be now? Probably in a different spot, probably not in the spot in which people are openly admitting to not watching the films that are nominated for these very same awards. But I guess we'll never know that reality. But the reality that we will know is this draft, this Best Picture losers draft here, in probably about 90 minutes or so. We'll see how the teams shake out. I do want to quickly go over strategy for this draft. Sophia, you mentioned drafting with your heart. I did just want to quickly address something that I found really fascinating. We have a group chat going on for this draft, of course. And Daniel, you employed something that I've never seen done before in a pre-recording zone, is that you dropped a list of what you have ranked 11th for each of the 6 categories. Fascinating. I'm a little worried, and I think it worked because it scared me. What's your plan with this? What's your play here?
I don't have a play except to say that all 5 of us are going to have perfect drafts in the sense that there are so many great all-time classic movies that lost Best Picture.
Yeah.
Between the 5 of us in the 6 categories, we're going to draft 30 of them. There are easily 100 just phenomenal timeless movies that fit in this category. Like all 5 of us are going to get 6 movies that we love and adore. We're all going to have great drafts. The only thing that's going to differentiate what you just pick is pure personal taste. And that's kind of what I was trying to get at when I assume most of us went through all the options and sort of listed our preference order. And, I realized that what I have 11th in my, so for example, the movies that lost Best Picture from between 2010 and 2019, I ranked my top, 25 favorite of those losers. And what I have 11th for myself is Mad Max Fury Road, which it wouldn't surprise me at all to find out all four of you have that ranked number one of that decade. And that's kind of the point that I was getting at, is just like, there is so much great stuff to choose from. And what's ultimately going to separate it all is just purely what we personally love.
Yeah, I think that's interesting because usually on these drafts, we will try to go for topics, categories, things to make the drafts obviously competitive and a little bit more difficult. Of course, that happens naturally with an auction draft. Jonathan knows probably better than most when it comes to the auction draft, the competitive nature of that. And so we do try to put that in place. What I think is really fascinating about this draft, the Best Picture Losers draft, is exactly what you said, Daniel, is that there's so many good things out there that the strategy kind of has to be a little bit different. And if you are ultimately going for the win in the votes of the people, you got to kind of think and skew towards what would look good on the graphic. What are people on Twitter interested in seeing? What are people on Instagram going to say is the best or the better team than the others? I think that is a very distinct challenge in and of itself. One that I have not learned how to fix, how to figure out, how to win at. Are there any other strategies in play? Did anybody watch anything, rewatch anything for this draft to get ready?
I didn't rewatch anything, but it was just fun. I think making the lists and thinking back on some of the big losses. I think where people would say that, the wrong movie won Best Picture, or even ones where I love the winner, but I also just really love what might have been in second, third, fourth place too. So I also think what you were talking about with getting the win or getting people to vote for your team will be interesting, because I think this will be one where that's trickiest to balance, and it really will be mostly about personal taste. But there are some categories I think that are a little bit thinner. Like there's an embarrassment of riches in some of the categories, and then others I was like, ooh, okay, I think I have 6 here that I'm working with. Still a lot, but less than maybe our earlier categories.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Bobbi, Jonathan, you guys, the only two people not responding to my probing questions of strategy. You guys are vets. I would expect nothing less, I guess.
Have you said what the categories are yet? The year breakdowns?
Not yet. We're going to do it right now.
Okay.
Unless Jonathan or Bobbi have something they want to say.
I feel really underprepared the more everyone's talking. I was sick all last week. I'm still getting over it. I was really busy today. So I'm kind of like looking at stuff right now as everyone else is talking. So I feel really underprepared now.
I mean, I have a list. I have some decades where there are multiple. I have some decades where there are 2. And really at that point it's a strong one.
Only 2. Wow.
Yeah, and see that's the problem. And that's the problem. I know I'm the issue here. So I'm just here to have a good time and see everyone else draft way better teams. And it'll be fine.
Yeah, I have some categories that are slim. I will say slimmer than Daniel's, probably a little bit beefier than Jonathan's, I would assume. So I have short lists. I don't like how I ranked them. I'm looking at them and I'm like, well, that number 8, maybe I do want that one. So that's not good going into this draft, because that will just make me ruin my own plan and my own strategy, which is nothing new for this draft. Human Chernobyl pretty much every time. So I'm excited to be back and probably do it again. Let's talk categories and let's spin for spots. Are you guys ready to get down to business, to get down to brass tacks here for the draft?
Ready.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Ready.
All right. So we have 6 categories that we are going to be drafting. Each of us are going to be drafting teams of 6. That will be 30 movies in total. In order to be eligible for this draft, the film must have been nominated for Best Picture, but lost. Very simple. That is exactly what needs to happen in order to qualify for this draft. And in order to be eligible for a category that I will go over here in just a second, the movie must have been released during that year. So we are not going to go by the year of the Academy Awards. We are instead going by the release year of the movie. Now, I know that kind of clashes a little bit because, of course, the Academy Awards happen the year after the movie is released, but very clearly, very plainly, we're going with the release year of the film. So here are the categories that we're going to be drafting for. We've got 1927 through 1969, 1970 through 1989, 1990 through 1999, 2000 through 2009, 2010 through 2019, and 2020 through 2024. Those are going to be the 6 categories. Any movie that was released in a year in that time span will be eligible for the category. Do you have any questions? Any category fraud that someone's trying to pounce on right out of the gate here? No.
I messed up already. I literally misread. I literally misread something. So I was like, oh, great. We're good, though. We move on.
I take no blame for that. I underlined it in the doc. It's underlined in the doc.
That's literally on me.
To be eligible for a category. The movie must have released during that year.
We're good.
God, I wish you luck, Jonathan. You're never this underprepared, man. I'm worried for you.
I'm always underprepared on this draft.
Maybe just put up a good front. You know, maybe I just don't ever catch on.
I'm confident.
Okay, I have my wheel of names. I'm ready to spin. So here we've got the spinner. Now we're just doing regular proper names, no fancy business, no all caps, no nothing weird. Just standard. I'm gonna spin. Is anybody hoping to go first?
Nope.
Daniel, Sophia. Wow. Okay, the beginners. I wonder what that means.
Ready.
What does that say? I don't
know.
It
would be tragic if we both want the same movie.
Yeah, it would.
Okay. God, I don't know if I want to go first
it's
or
hard
not.
Though,
but let's
I do
spin.
like the turn. The turn is fun too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the turn is fun. The middle is not fun. I've only gotten the middle on this show. It feels rigged. Ethan?
I can't do anything. You know, I just hit spin. That's all that I do. I can't help you out.
Yeah, you could spin it again, I think. Maybe.
You want to cut that from the pod. We'll let the listeners know. We actually did cut every single time Bobbi didn't get spun first, and then we just kept that take. Is what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Okay, we are going in a snake order, so it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back and forth until we have finished. Okay, I'm gonna tap to spin. Here we go. Let's see if we can figure out who is going to be going first. Oh,
God,
well,
rigged.
Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so, baby. Oh, wow. What just a wonderful happenstance. That's incredible.
Wow.
All right, let me type that into the doc. That is set in stone that I'm going to be drafting first. Very exciting. I actually didn't want to draft first, so I feel bad for Sophia, Daniel. I feel bad for you guys. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Stopped. Bobbi, how are you feeling about number 2?
I mean, sure, I guess.
Okay.
It was almost on me for number 1, might I add, and then it petered over
close.
to you.
It was very close to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, this is the best visual moment of the pod. Okay, so
all right,
Daniel going in the middle, literally the opposite of first. I hate to break it to you. Okay, down to Sophia, Jonathan.
Damn it!
Oh,
damn it.
Yes,
Damn.
the turn.
Wow. Okay, so we've got Jonathan drafting 4th. Sophia drafting 5th. Wow. Okay.
All right.
Huh. All right.
First pick.
Let's see. First pick. I've been known in my day to bungle a first pick. I'll just put that out there.
Good content, man. It's good content.
So if I do it again, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. All right. Let me go to the prep sheet. Okay. Let's draft. Let's draft the Best Picture Losers movie draft here. Jeez. The riches are plenty. You know? Where do you go?
Amelia Perez, bro.
I was thinking, strongly considered. Strongly considered. That'd be, I mean, you're talking about
that would be a
content.
first pick.
Yeah. I would give you my first round pick if you did that, honestly.
Yeah.
I think Carla would share it on her Instagram.
Oh, see, that's big. That'd be big for the pod.
True.
You know, that'd be big for the pod.
Huge for the pod.
Yeah.
Get out there.
Do you know what decade you're looking at for your first pick?
Man, I'm looking. This sucks. Why did you want to go first, Daniel? There's too many good things.
Because I know exactly what movie I want to pick, and you can't pick it.
I'm struggling. Is it one of yours that's on your 4 favorites?
Yeah. Are you looking to snipe me?
That'd be sick if
Dude's
I did
letterbox sniping. That's crazy.
How cool would that be?
I mean, the disconnect button is right in front of me.
Yeah, it's on my short list. One of yours is on my short list for
God.
sure. Wow. Dang. I could.
See, this is the psychological torture he does.
This sucks, dude. I don't want to be first. I don't want to do this. I got pounded into the ground. First. Last time that I picked first, I tried to steal a pick from Sophie, and everybody was like, "You fucked up. That was a bad pick." So I've been bullied, and I don't feel prepared for this, to be frank.
You know what? Martin Scorsese says the goal of an artist is to get an audience into your obsessions. Ethan, you're not trying to get people into my obsessions. You want people to get into your obsessions.
Yeah, but it'd be kind of fun. It'd be kind of fun to try to have your obsessions. You should take it as a compliment, as a form of flattery.
You don't even know my connection. I have my case laid out for why that's the movie I deserve.
Okay. I feel like I've landed on a safe pick that hopefully can't really be torn apart. I need to go to the wiki real fast, make sure I did my research correct. I don't want to end up being the guy that fucked up. In the category of 1927 to 1969, I'm going to be taking 12 Angry Men. Lost the Academy Award.
What a mistake.
In 1957. Shut up, Jonathan. Too soon.
I'm just kidding.
I feel less confident about the older years. Of course, 12 Angry Men needs no explaining. The all-time great film that is the best courtroom drama, one of the hottest movies ever. Just people sweating left and right.
Very sweaty, yeah.
One of the greatest reveals of cinema history. Just kind of the whole big package. So the fact that it lost Best Picture to The Bridge on the River Kwai, which admittedly I haven't seen, but
great movie.
12 Angry Men, I feel like hard to beat. So I'm going to take that.
Good pick.
It's okay.
That feels good.
Thanks, guys. That's just a resounding vote of confidence from all of you.
No, that's a great pick. That's one of those movies that deserves to go high.
Mm-hmm. And I love old Hollywood, so I think that was a good place for you to go.
Okay, thanks. That means a lot, actually. That it really does. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I hope. I just hope Daniel doesn't get the pick that he wants. I don't know. I take great pride in like sniping people on this episode, I guess.
Bobby, it would be so funny if you did it.
Bobby.
Bobby, who has not looked at my letterbox and just read my mind.
I haven't. I play fair. Now, if it happens, it's totally coincidence. It's totally coincidence. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I wonder. I have a feeling I know what it's going to be. So if you draft it, we'll have a conversation around that, Daniel. So, okay, Bobby, you are up.
I'm up. Okay. Let's see. What should I do? Should I do the category where I have the least or the one I want the most?
My category was the one I had the least in. I just feel like I couldn't take the risk,
Yeah. There's only one of these movies that I have tattooed on my heart that, like, Daniel, if someone picks it, I'll be really upset.
Then you got to go with that.
I do. But
do you though? Do you?
I feel like someone's going to pick my other ones. I don't have a lot of deep
I just
cuts.
feel like everyone's first pick should be the movie that like defines their taste.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
gosh.
agree.
Yeah, that's true.
That's fair.
Hold on. Okay.
Good thing I didn't pick Up. Can't believe that. No, crazy.
Like you've seen
It's a good movie.
Hey, I have seen Up. Okay, I stand by that. I've seen that film.
That's the one. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna get myself upset. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, I'm going to go, and I'm just gonna ask that we all promise in our hearts that we don't take the other one that I was gonna say. But I'm gonna go with my 1970 to 1989 pick, and I'm going to go with E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Good pick.
Nice.
That
is a follow your heart pick.
Yeah, that is a follow my heart pick. I credit Steven Spielberg with giving me the gift of movies and understanding what movies we're capable of. And E.T. is like hands down still my favorite movie, still my favorite score. I can quote it up and down. I just love it. So should have won over, was it Gandhi that won?
Gandhi, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, well,
tough beat.
Hate to say, I think E.T. probably should have taken it. So yeah, that's my favorite one.
That's good. That's a good movie. I like E.T. Pretty formative. Like I owned the VHS as a young child.
Okay, I was about to say, have you seen it?
Oh, hey, come on now. I host a movie podcast, Bobbi. I have to watch some movies at least.
Ethan, you can't
I have to
use
see
that
some
reason.
things. I have to get out there. I support my boy Steven. I just, I love aliens and I love movies. So I have seen E.T. It's good film.
You make it sound like you haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it.
I've seen it. I've showed it to my kids.
I love aliens.
Love Steven Spielberg. Everything I just said.
I love it when kids ride bikes and then magically start to fly. Like that happens in that movie. That's sick.
You've seen one scene out of E.T. Yeah.
Stranger Things.
Oh, guys.
Yeah, you've seen Stranger Things.
You guys are killing me. Sad movie in the end, When he's
totally.
like,
what happens?
Do I stay with Elliot? Do I go back to my alien friends? Like, my parents? I don't know.
You've totally seen this movie.
I have seen E.T. It might not be logged on Letterboxd, but I've seen it, okay?
I
swear to
think
God.
I think at the end we should all have to reveal how many of the drafted movies we haven't seen, and whoever has seen the most wins an extra prize.
Oh, well,
Okay.
that's
an easy
fascinating.
way for you to win, probably.
Oh, not necessarily. I don't know how many movies you guys have seen. There's a lot of stuff I haven't seen.
Guys, I've rated E.T. 4.5 stars. I love E.T.
4.5.
Yeah, what are you guys getting at me for?
What's the half off for?
Okay, guys. I probably watched it in prep for a Steven Spielberg draft, and I was like pummeling through Spielberg. So
an attack right to Bobby's tattooed heart.
Yeah,
sorry.
Right here.
Yeah,
Ethan.
wooden stake right there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that this turned from Bobbi making a great pick to all criticizing Ethan in the movies that he hasn't seen, apparently.
It was your tone. You sounded like you hadn't seen it.
Frankly, I'm worried about what the next pick is going to be because I have to wait through 8 fucking picks or 9 fucking picks. Like, that's why the first pick blows. Anyway, Daniel, you're up. I think you're going to get the movie you want, right?
I'm getting the movie I want. Okay, so in 2000 to 2009, I'm taking Inglourious Bastards.
I knew you were going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
I knew
What
it.
the hell?
Sophie, is that the movie you wanted with the first pick?
No, not the one I wanted,
good.
but it was
I'm
on
glad
my
I
list.
didn't take it from someone else.
Yeah.
So here's why this is the movie that I deserve and none of you deserve it. 2 things that are true of me is I am an American Jew and I am a French cinephile, if you couldn't tell from my last name. And Inglourious Bastards is a movie about an alternate history where World War II is won by American Jews and French cinephiles. It is impossible for a movie to be made more directly for me.
All very fair.
Wow.
Can't really argue with that, although I thought about it. I thought about taking that movie. I didn't notice how I didn't. I left it for you.
12 Angry Men is still a great pick for you.
Tarantino.
What? Sorry, what did you say?
Oh, I think it's my favorite Tarantino.
Same.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
I go
That's
back and forth
interesting.
between a couple. Yeah.
It's funny because Pulp Fiction, I mean, I'm in my 40s, so Pulp Fiction is the movie that made me love movies. And I didn't when I first saw Inglourious Bastards after 15 years of thinking Pulp Fiction was my favorite movie. Oh wow, this might be even better, but I didn't feel comfortable saying that for 10 years. And now that Inglourious Bastards is 15 years old, all recency bias feels gone. I feel fully comfortable. That's my favorite movie.
That's crazy because it's wrong, but I admire you guys. Okay. Interesting. Now I'm looking at that category and there's a lot going on. All right. Jonathan, you're up.
All right. Well, that was good logic by Daniel in terms of why he deserves it. By that logic, I guess I deserve Minari or something.
You said it, man, not us. You said it.
Yeah, I said it.
Only if you've ever been a farmer in Arkansas.
I don't know. I might be related to Stephen Young somewhere. somewhere there. Let's see. I think I will go with. There are so many like top tier movies, so it doesn't even matter.
Yep.
I think I will go with the movie that I heard my parents talk about first while I was somewhat conscious, and then from that, legitimately no other movie in that same genre has topped it. So I will just take Jaws.
Oh,
good pick.
That's a great
Yep.
pick.
Thank you so much.
50-year anniversary this year. That's big.
Yeah.
Top of mind.
Yep. Amazing Best Picture lineup that year.
My favorite of all time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, a lot of
Incredible.
people say that's the
Yeah.
greatest Best Picture lineup of all time.
So,
For any listener who doesn't know, the 5 nominees for that year were One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest won, and then the 4 other nominees were Jaws, Dog Day Afternoon, Nashville, and Barry Lyndon.
Incredible stuff.
goated.
Yeah.
God, we're never gonna get back there. That's crazy. That's crazy. That was my number one in that category.
Hell
Congrats.
yeah. I feel so much better now.
Good.
That's awesome.
Jaws. Okay. Where are you at on sharks, guys? You guys pro sharks, anti sharks?
I'm pro.
Pro Jaws for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm
Only if
Okay,
you're named
pro
Bruce.
Jaws.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Finding
Okay, so
Nemo
we're-
shark.
So
like
can
him.
I bill this as like a pro shark pod then? We feel good about that.
Was that in contention? Like pro, anti?
I don't know.
Have you seen
I don't know. I
Shark
just want to be
Tale,
sure.
Have you seen Shark Tale?
Okay.
Shark
If
Tale's
anything,
awesome.
this is
Yes.
a pro Spielberg pod. We've already
Yes.
in the first 4 picks, we've
very
had 2
pro
Spielberg.
Yeah.
True, yeah, true.
Oh, yeah.
It did occur to me
Big.
as I was making my list that other than the 27 to 69, someone could draft either 5 Spielberg movies or 5 Scorsese movies if
Yeah.
they wanted to.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
That'd be a big play.
Mm.
Oh, I fucked that up. But I guess no. I still have that in play. Anything's possible.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
still
Great
draft
idea.
5 Spielberg or 5 Scorsese.
I could. Could also draft District 9. So anything's possible. Okay, Sophia, you are up for 2 picks. You're on the
2
turn.
picks. Okay, well, we're talking about personal connections to movies, and as an Italian American, I think I have to pick a film by Martin Scorsese
Sucks.
somewhere in this
Damn.
draft. And I'm kind of surprised this is still on the board, honestly, because this is one of those all-time losses for me where just the wrong movie wins Best Picture, and Goodfellas is sitting right there.
Mm,
So in
yeah.
what is our category, 1990 to 1999, I will be taking Goodfellas.
Fuck.
I thought you were talking about The Irishman briefly. I got excited.
Well, I love The Irishman, but
I didn't know that, but now I know that.
Oh yeah, I love The Irishman. I love so many of his movies. The Age of Innocence is actually my favorite of his, but Goodfellas was one that I saw so early that did, I think, just leave a mark on me and just made me so excited for every other Scorsese film that's to come. I think for Italians, it's kind of like The Godfather, where you don't even necessarily remember the first time you watch it in full. You just kind of absorb it in pieces throughout your life, and it just becomes a part of you. So Goodfellas will be my first one. And
Okay.
then
Loses to Dances with Wolves in 1990. By the way, a movie that we all talk about on a pretty regular basis, I guess.
All the
so
time.
It's a wash,
Mhm.
really.
And it's funny because, and I don't know if someone might take this later, but this, he lost for Raging Bull to Ordinary People, another actor director, and Robert Redford. And here with Costner, it's like this curse for him, losing to the actor turned director. My second pick. Okay, this is tricky because I also thought some of these would be gone. So I'm between 2. Okay. I think people would think I would pick one thing, and I'm going to give it as a gift to you, but I think I have to go with the first big Oscar loss that broke my heart. So in 2000 to 2009, I will be taking Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, fuck.
I
Yeah.
will
On the list.
Mhm.
never forget that.
suck.
And it's a
That's so annoying.
it's another 5-star movie for me. There are actually a couple in this category that I really love and that I consider to be just flat out masterpieces and great picks. But when I think about Best Picture losers that just sting, this is the one for me from my lifetime so far.
Mhm.
Loses to Crash, of course, just in the worst possible. I can still hear Jack Nicholson in his shock as he said crash, as he looks at the envelope.
So
I feel
had
like they're only. I'm sorry, just to say
Yeah.
real fast. I think there are only 3 Best Picture winners ever that not just I remember the presenters saying it, but I remember the inflection of how they said it. I remember exactly the way Jack Nicholson said Crash. I remember exactly the way Jane Fonda said Parasite. And I remember exactly the way Julia Roberts said Green Book.
I had a question about Brokeback Mountain. I wonder from your guys' perspective, because if this made it back to me, I would have taken Brokeback Mountain. I'm curious because this is one, there are a small handful of like pretty like stark controversial losses. I think this is obviously one of those in that category. Does drafting something like Brokeback Mountain that comes with this story of loss, does that like enhance your team? I feel like that is a benefit because somebody looks and they're like, should have won. Like, absolutely great pick.
It's a little bit of my strategy that I didn't share. Like, I'm kind of thinking of that. I'm kind of thinking of like, where is the blend of head and heart a little bit here? Like a movie that I love and that I think is a perfect movie. And it's coming out in theaters again this summer. And I can't wait to go again to see it. But also like, when you think of the title of the draft, like this is, I think, one of those movies that does, you know, you turn it over in the mind a little bit.
Okay. Congratulations. That's a great pick.
Thank you. I had to wait patiently for it and hope that no one took it.
Okay. Continue. I can't. Just keep going. Go ahead, Jonathan.
All right. So I don't want my team to look so film bro-y, but I might have to do it.
Isn't that the vibe? Like, isn't that what you try to accomplish, though? You know, someone's got to do it. Yeah,
no,
someone's got to do it.
Dude, I made a video like defending Boss Baby from people. I have a list on Letterboxd of movies I get made fun of, all animated. Ethan wouldn't know about it.
Yeah, he would.
Okay, yeah. Can I read? Let me read your 2022 auction draft team real fast.
Yeah,
The Banshees of Inisherin, Decision to Leave, Nope, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Glass Onion, Barbarian.
Sounds fire.
On,
sounds
amazing. That's a good draft.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you wanted us all to jump, Jonathan, and then we're like,
yeah, I did.
Really good.
Oh, that's good.
You'll never disappoint.
All right, I don't need a vamp. I'm just gonna take Pulp Fiction in the 90s.
Good pick.
And we can just move on. Good movie.
That's what I had listed number 1 on the 90s, but I'm happy someone else took it because I didn't want to end up taking 2 Tarantino movies.
I got you. That's what I'm here for.
1990 to 1999, taking Pulp Fiction in 94. Okay. Well, this is the Forrest Gump. Bad movie. That's crazy.
A pretty good lineup, but
yeah,
pretty solid.
Yeah.
Really solid lineup. Yeah, these categories are interesting, especially in the 90s, because obviously we only get 5 Best Picture nominees instead of the 10 that we are accustomed to at this point in time. So a slimmer kind of swath of things to choose from. Okay, Pulp Fiction, good movie. Daniel, you're up.
Okay. My other Letterboxd top 4 favorite Best Picture nominee is still available, but I feel like there's somewhere else I want to go just in terms of being worried someone else will take it. So I'll go 2010 to 2019 and I'll take The Social Network.
Fuck. That's yeah, that's the one.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the one.
Cool, man.
Should have gone.
That was another heartbreaker. I remember, like, just what? How did this happen? How did it come to this?
Well, and it's funny the way the Oscars can turn movies into villains for you. Like, I saw The King's Speech at Toronto that year, so 6 months before the Oscars, before anyone sort of knew how the Oscars were going to play out. And I absolutely love The King's Speech. And then a month later, Social Network comes out, and I see that, and it's like, okay, this is clearly the movie of my generation.
Yeah.
And then the Oscars make me try and hate The King's Speech. It's like, well, but I can't hate that movie. Like, I think it's good. It's not The Social Network.
Mm-hmm.
I recently flew to Boston on a work trip. On the way back, I watched The Social Network on my phone, and I could have Tom Cruise my way out of that plane and just like landed on the ground without a parachute. I was so fucking amped watching The Social Network. It's the first time I visited it in probably a year or two. Wild. great pick. I'm worried that your team is too good so far. So,
honestly,
not good.
Every team is going to be this good. I mean, Jonathan's got Jaws and Pulp Fiction. Sophia's got Goodfellas and Brokeback Mountain. Like all 5 of our teams are going to be that good.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
They're all going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bobbi has E.T. How's Bobbi going to follow up E.T.? Let's see.
I don't know. I think I'm going to follow up E.T. with a banger. In my opinion, I'm surprised no one's taken it. Because there's this is the category that it has the most years, so like we can all kind of land in different places. But I'm going to go with my 1927 to 1969 pick, and I'm going to pick Double Indemnity.
Love that movie.
Love that movie. Saw it in college for the first time, and I was like, oh, this is kind of everything to me. Like as a lover of the Real Housewives franchise, it's like got some connective tissue and just how like messy it is. And also I just love noir. So yeah, Double Indemnity. I'm shocked. Like that was one that I was like, pick. Oh my gosh, that didn't win Best Picture. I was flabbergasted. So
and how did
Bobbi,
Barbara Stanwyck not win Best Actress?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bobbi, have you ever seen Body Heat from the early 80s?
I have not, but it's on my list. Like I need to see it this weekend. Yeah.
It's like very self-consciously sort of a riff on Double Indemnity, but like as well done as it could possibly be.
Yeah. Every time it's like I bring up that I love Double Indemnity, the next question is, have you seen Body Heat?
Yeah.
So I need to.
Like I won't tell you it's as good as Double Indemnity, but like it's like as good as it could possibly be trying to be Double Indemnity.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm gonna check it out probably tonight, maybe.
There you
go. Okay. Happy for you. It's a good pick. Honestly, I didn't listen to anything you said. I was trying to worry about what I'm doing here coming up.
Right. No, yeah. Invite me on. Don't listen to me. It's all good.
It's par for the course, frankly. As of the last couple of drafts. Okay. For my first pick, I am going to go with a director who has received 11 Academy Award nominations and has not walked out with a single win. It is very unlikely that changes this year, but I guess you never know. I'm going to be going in 2010 through 2019, arguably probably the easiest category to choose from and the most stacked category to choose from. I'm going to be taking Phantom Thread.
You're kidding me.
Wow.
This is my favorite movie of all time. And I thought
well, Sophia,
to hang on.
Thanks for coming on the pod. It's been a pleasure. And this one episode has been a treat.
Damn, I can't believe you did
that.
I didn't know.
The way you were setting that up with the Oscar losses, I thought you were going to take A Star Is Born. It sounded to me like you were talking about Bradley Cooper.
Blood.
Yeah, Sam, that's what I thought too.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was leaving Phantom Thread for Sophia. Even I knew
burned.
that one.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
God. Wow. I'm really. Fuck. I'm sorry. I feel really bad now. You just really turned the tide. I was like, I did it. I got a great pick.
My favorite movie ever made.
Really? Okay. Phantom Thread.
Phantom Thread. My favorite movie of all time. I named my cat Daniel Day-Lewis after seeing this movie.
I feel like such an asshole. Holy crap. That's crazy. All right. Well, it's on my team. So we're just going to continue.
You can't feel too bad.
Yeah.
We got to press on, draft style.
Go to your letterbox and see what else I can take.
I just want the record to show that I advised everyone to pick their favorite first.
You did.
That's true.
Yeah.
I love Phantom Thread. So it's not my favorite movie of all time, but
see, that's when it hurts when he says that after taking it. Like,
yeah.
I make the breakfast every year.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I mean, to Bobby's point in the very beginning of this conversation, if we had like kind of opened it up to like it just lost a category, I inevitably would have picked Boogie Nights that get nominated for screenplay. Not eligible here. Did not get nominated for Best Picture, which I think makes sense. So I had to go with the next best thing.
Okay. I got to change up my strategy now.
God.
It's okay.
I feel so conflicted.
It's okay.
So conflicted. Huh. Okay. Well, now I'm really thrown off my game and I don't know what to do. Watchers of the pod who are watching on YouTube may notice that I am wearing glasses. I never wear glasses, so I'm already thrown off my game. I can't wear my contacts right now. I'm on drops for my eyes. So Sophia, you're damaging me even more. Just to let you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, I'm feeling pretty confident about a couple categories, although most of my number ones are gone. I'm going to go in 1990 to 1999. That's where I'm going to land. What movie am I going to take? Yet to be determined. Let's figure it out as we pod. How are you guys feeling about this category? Feeling
this
pretty
is
good?
just some expert vamping. This man's practiced.
I'm sorry that I threw you off, but also
Sophia's taking this category. Jonathan's taking this category, and then the three of us have not.
I know mine.
There are two movies remaining in this category that I really want, and I'm curious if you'll land on one of the two.
I'm curious as well. What do I do? I'm really caught between two. I'm really struggling here. One of those is not Beauty and the Beast, unfortunately, Bobby. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I was confident. I'm like, I don't have to draft that first.
Pretty good. You know, I'm not.
How about Babe? Is that one that you're mulling?
I'm pro George Miller, but I'm like pretty impartial on pigs as movie stars.
Impartial on pigs as movie stars.
I do like Babe.
Yeah, kind of in the middle.
I have Babe ranked 12th on my 90 to 99 list. That's pretty high.
Wow. You guys are not helping me.
Why are we supposed to be helping you?
No, you're not. You're not. I just,
can't.
I can't.
You just stole someone's cake.
You poisoned me with mushrooms, and now I'm out. I can't do it.
Okay. Well, let's relax a little bit here.
Sophia, the line you're supposed to say is, "Have you been sent here to ruin my life?" Or
yeah,
what is it that he says?
Do you have a gun? Are you going to kill me?
I cannot begin my day with a confrontation. Fuck, guys, I gotta be honest. Okay, so I have a courtroom drama, so I'm gonna steer clear of that. I'm gonna try to mix it up. I'm gonna try to mix up the vibe of the team. And in 1990 through 1999, I'm gonna be taking one of my favorite movies of all time, a movie that I love dearly. I grew up on. Was never gonna win Best Picture, but it means a lot to me. I'm going with 1993's The Fugitive. Getting a little action on the team here.
Great movie.
I love this movie. My dad, we grew up watching this movie what felt like all of the time. It was probably 3 times in my whole life, but I felt like it was on the TV constantly. I was considering going with A Few Good Men, but I have a courtroom drama. I was considering going with The Insider, but I talk about The Insider too much on this pod as it is, and it is pretty drama heavy. So I thought we'd mix it up a little bit. The Fugitive, 1990 to 1999.
Great pick.
It's all right.
Sophia, you just said great pick? That's
wow.
No, how kind of you.
Of course. No, this was one that my dad loves this movie and introduced it to me when I was really young, and just became kind of like a rewatchable in my house growing up. So I really like it.
Oh, for sure. As soon as my girls are of age, probably like 7 and 5, we're gonna throw on The Fugitive. Okay. Bobby, it's back to you.
It is back to me. Well, now that it's been said, I might as well just play it because I don't think anyone else is going to take it. But I don't want anyone to take it just out of like spite. I'm going to do my 1990 to 1999 pick, and who guessed it? It's Beauty and the Beast. I've talked about this before on this pod, but like I'm a big animation person. First animated film to get nominated for Best Picture when it was like 5 nominees. That's a big deal. It's also just stunning and gorgeous, and some of my favorite pieces of music come from this. Howard Ashman, Alan Menken, good stuff. What can be said?
Love it.
Tale as old as time, right, Bobby?
Song as old as rhyme. Ethan, next line. Want to do it?
Nope, I crashed out. That's right. That's where I. Okay, Daniel, back to you.
Yeah. Okay. So now I will be taking the other Best Picture loser in my Letterboxd top 4. From 1970 to 1989, I'll be taking Raiders of the Lost Ark. Steven Spielberg movie from 1981, lost to Chariots of Fire, a movie that is not better than Raiders of the Lost Ark. I feel very confident in saying that.
You would not be wrong.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I also love Reds a lot from that year too.
Yeah, Reds is great. Mm-hmm. When I was making all my lists and I was like wondering whether it was worth trying to draft on a theme, and I saw how high I had Raiders of the Lost Ark and Inglourious Basterds ranked, I wonder whether I could do 6 movies that are all like anti-Nazi movies. Because I also thought about like Zone of Interest is really high on my 20 to 24 list. The Great Dictator is a movie I very well may still draft later on if it's available. So yeah, there will be some anti-Nazi vibes on my list.
I dig that. That's a good vibe to go for here on the draft. I like Raiders. Raiders is really good. Ben, co-host of this pod, has never seen an original Indiana Jones movie. He's only seen Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Wow.
Can I tell you the saddest thing I've ever heard said from a human mouth inside of a movie theater? Like one of the most depressing moments of my life as a film goer.
Yeah, please do.
So back in the aughts, when seeing new movies on Thursday at midnight in theaters was a thing, my friends and I went to see Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull on that Thursday at midnight. A movie that I do not think is very good, but and as the movie ends, and it was a pretty packed theater, as the movie ends, a kid sitting behind me who was probably like 18, 19 says, "That was terrible. Now I know I don't need to see any of the other ones." And a small part of me just died.
Oh, no. Bro, what? It might have been Ben. It might have been Ben. That's the problem here.
Maybe it was.
Wow. That's tragic. All right. Jonathan, you've been staying awfully quiet.
I'm so nervous.
Yeah, no, I'm panicking. Honestly, I'm scrolling through. I'm scrolling through Wikipedia like crazy. Okay, I'm not picking here, but I am very curious on what we're all gonna pick for the 2020s so far. I am very curious about that.
I've noticed no one's gone to that decade yet, and I wonder if that's because like there are 2 reasons. Either it's because it's the decade where we feel we have the most things we love, so we're not worried about like running out of choices, or it's the decade where like nothing has stood the test of time yet for us, so we don't know how much we love them, or both.
Interesting.
I think it's a mix.
For me, it's because I know nobody will take my pick. I feel confident, as Bobbi did in the 90s, that I'm soloed on this one.
Careful now.
Yeah, you say that.
It does have me worried. We are more similar than I anticipated. I should have done a little recon before this episode.
Me too.
Shit, that does have me worried, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Okay. We'll see.
Oh my God, my team is so broy. Holy shit.
Lean in.
I got to do it though.
lean in.
I mean, There Will Be Blood is still on the table. So I got to take There Will Be Blood. I got to do it. Daniel Day-Lewis. He's pretty good. That's a good one right there.
That's what I had number 2 on that decade. And if someone had stolen Inglourious Basterds from me, that's what I would have taken.
Yeah. It was that or Brokeback for me for that decade.
Yep.
Okay. Still haven't seen There Will Be Blood. Holding out.
Holding out.
Holding out for what?
Just I'm waiting for the moon and the stars to align. Just waiting for it all to go down.
They'll probably do a lot of rep screenings this year ahead of the new PTA.
Yeah, honestly, that is what I am hoping. I'm hoping that some of those rep screenings will come like to Portland, and then I will get to experience it for the first time, like in a massive theater. So I guess holding out a little bit for that. If it doesn't happen before one battle after another, I mean, I'm not gonna like go see the new PTA and be like, "What's There Will Be Blood?" I've never seen that movie. I can't be that guy. Okay, There Will Be Blood off the table. Pretty good. Leaning into the film, bro. I respect it.
Guess so.
Okay. Sophia, you got the double.
I have the double, and I'm scared. I think I need to pivot and just make sure I get what I want, I think, for these. So both of my picks feature, I think, 2 of my favorite queens of cinema. So first, I will be going back in time, 1927 to 1969, and I will be taking Sunset Boulevard, one of my all-time favorite movies about the film industry, about Hollywood. The Gloria Swanson performance, I really do think is just absolutely everything. So I have to take that. that was one kind of Bobbi, like you said, with Double Indemnity, where I thought, how is this still on the board? I need it. I need to take it now. Lost to All About Eve, which is a film that I also adore. I think 1950 is a great year, but Sunset Boulevard is one of those that is just a classic for a reason. And then I think because I'm panicked that someone's going to take her, I'm actually going to go to 2020 to 2025 and I'm going with my queen, Lydia Tarr.
God damn it!
Yeah.
I knew I was gonna take Tar. I knew it.
The chokehold that this movie had on me was so intense. I wish I could speak German just so I could scold a small child in the way that she does on the playground.
Did you see that they just dropped a new T-shirt as of today, as of recording? It says Petra's father.
I need it. Every Father's Day, it's her day. It's Lydia Tarr's day.
All right, cool.
I have to go with Tar. Just like that movie, it was so wild. Like just seeing it for the first time in the theater. It just was one of those experiences where it kind of felt like a 70s movie or some like weird European drama that I would have loved. And just that powerhouse performance from Cate Blanchett and just all the little weird quirks of it kind of feels Kubrickian. I don't know. I love it. I think it's a masterpiece.
I think you should come on more drafts more often. This is a great time. I'm having a ball. This is
a twist. I didn't expect this, and I kind of love it. It's a vibe.
Y'all are just sniping each other's lists back and forth. It's wonderful to see, honestly.
It's not the movie I was referring to, but it was my number one pick in that category.
Okay.
So I'm still safe. I still have a fallback.
It was one where I was like, okay, if I don't get it, like there are so many in that list that I just love. I mean, even from last year, honestly, but it had to be done.
That's crazy. Look at us.
What a weird list I have.
I think something that's true of the 2020 to 2024 list is they're mostly films that I've only seen once. So it's like, I haven't yet decided sort of exactly how much I love them.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Fair.
Yeah.
My top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My top 9 in this category I've all seen at least 2 times.
Tar is one I've only seen once.
I don't know what that says about me.
Tar, I might be in double digits.
Yeah.
Wow.
Get it.
I respect that. Yeah. Would you trade Tar for Phantom Thread?
Yeah,
I'm not offering it, but I'm asking. You would?
I would.
That was quick. That was quick.
Not offering it.
I'm not offering it, by the way.
Just to screw with you.
Doesn't apply.
But a little bit. What exactly is the nature of my game? That's what you're saying to me.
Yeah.
Right
yeah. Wow. You have locked yourself back on for the PTA collab draft. So
I'm ready.
It's happening. It's happening. Cool. I'll make sure I play Phantom Thread at the bottom just so we can have a little battle. Okay. Jonathan, back to you. You gonna keep going? You gonna keep broing out?
I don't know. Could just lean in fully. Weirdly, I'm not worried about the 1920s through the 60s or whatever, just because since there are so many years there, I actually have a lot that I'd be fine with. So I'm not going there.
There are like 6 or 7 that I'd be really happy to get.
Yeah.
I might just save that. 2020s, I don't know. Not really speaking to me yet. So I'll have to go to the 2010s. And I think this is a movie that has a lot of fans, but also a lot of people that think it's overrated. But I don't like to self-proclaim myself as anything. But I am a Chazelle boy.
God damn it.
I am a defender of everything he has done so far.
Yep.
So there's 2 here that I could take. One of them almost would be ineligible. It was for a few minutes, and then now it's eligible again.
Now it can't be picked.
And since it's eligible again, I will take La La Land.
Okay.
Jonathan, I'm feeling really good about our taste overlap because this is the second movie you've taken that was number 2 on my list for that decade. If I hadn't gotten Social Network, La La Land is the one I would have gone for.
I love La La Land, and I think that
me too.
I think it's a controversial opinion. Like people don't like La La Land, but I love that all of you guys like it.
Yeah, that was
I mean,
one.
5-star banger.
Yep. This is what I was talking about with Social Network and the King's Speech is like there's this idea on, film Twitter that between La La Land and Moonlight, you have to take a side. And it's like, I love both those movies. Like, I think they were the two best movies of 2016.
Yep.
The idea that I should hate one I don't know, it's weird to me.
Yeah.
I will say in a few weeks, we do have a 2016 movie draft coming up. Bobbi, you're going to be back on for the 2016 movie draft, so we'll see how things shake out between the Moonlight and the La La Land of everything. I have been a day one La La Land defender. Really, La La Land, outside of Uncut Gems, like La La Land was the very first movie where I was like, whoa, movies. And then I got to go back and see it again. I got to go back and see it again. And I got it. And I didn't know that about myself. I didn't know I liked musicals. I didn't know I liked looking at gorgeous people be gorgeous on like a big screen. I didn't know I liked that.
Truly, who could know that about themselves?
I know, right? I didn't know I liked that kind of emotional torture at the very end. I have a very large Seb's poster in my living room. It is right behind the television. So I stand with La La Land.
I love it.
Moonlight and La La Land, both masterpieces.
Amazing. Yep.
Very good movies.
Good pick. That was my number 3 in that category. So my top 3 in that category have now been chosen. So,
good luck.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
So the 3 decades I have left to go with are the 2020s, the 90s, and then the first few decades. I'm going to go to the 90s. There are 2 movies that I really want, and I'm struggling with which one to go with.
Welcome to my struggle. This was my struggle not too long ago.
Yeah. I'll take Fargo for 90 to 99.
Wow. Okay. That's a great pick.
Yeah.
That's really good. Got the Coen brothers on the team? Wow. Solid.
We all have really good lists, you guys. I know we keep saying that, but I really like everyone's lists.
Okay. Fargo was not on my short list, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that because like E.T. you haven't seen it?
No, I have anything with William H. Macy. I have seen. I have seen Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Let me tell you that. And I sit through those things for my boy. No, I just didn't make the short list.
Yeah.
I just knew I was going to pick something of my 6 that I put on there. Okay, Bobbi, wow us. What are you going to do?
I appreciate that, like, right now, it's like Ethan and Sophia have crossover and Jonathan and Daniel have crossover. And I'm just here like, la, 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 la. What are we going to pick? Like, I don't have crossover with anyone. I'm just having a good time.
That's good, though. You're so unthreatened. Like, the 4 of us are, like, on each other's territories.
Yeah.
Unfettered.
I'm like, you took mine. That's okay. La La Land was the first hit. That was the first blow to me.
Okay.
Because that was my number 1.
A little stray, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go with my 2000 to 2009 pick. I'm surprised it hasn't gone yet, but I'm glad it hasn't, so I can take it. I'm going to pick Juno.
Oh,
nice.
On my list.
Great year.
Great year. Diablo Cody screenplay. I mean, you really can't go wrong. Great performance from Elliot Page, Michael Cera, Jason Bateman. Like, it's just one of those like movies, I think, in the grand scheme of like Best Picture nominees can get really big, and this is a movie that feels really small, but in like a good way. Gives me kind of that like indie comedy feel that we don't often see represented within Best Picture. So, love it.
This is now the second movie that's been taken from the 2016 release year or the 2017 Academy Awards. It might not be the last.
Do you mean the 2007?
Oh, sorry, 2007. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
2006 release year, 2007 Academy Awards. Juno and There Will Be Blood off the table. Both nominated that year and lost.
2 other Best Picture nominees from that year were number 3 and 4 on my list from that decade. I wonder if they'll still be drafted.
For me too.
Yeah.
They are also high up for me.
Bag of baguettes.
Well, thank you for the segue. I couldn't appreciate it more, Sophia. I will be, in fact, taking Michael Clayton in 2009. This is my number 1 pick on my short list. I can't believe I made it this far, this deep, and got my number 1 pick. But yeah, I'm going to be taking Michael Clayton. Incredible stuff. A prime example of they don't make them like they used to. And this movie fucking rips. Don't know what else to say.
I love it. I love that Tilda Swinton got an Oscar too for this. Just great.
It's awesome. She was locked in on this movie.
Yeah, she was.
When is she not locked in?
That's true.
Seriously, yeah.
She is always.
She has varying degrees of locked in.
That's great.
The way her knees buckle in the climactic scene is one of my favorite moments of physical acting.
Wild.
Like, you feel like she is that character.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Were you going to take Michael Clayton, Sophia, if it came back to you?
This was it for that year or that decade. I had Brokeback Mountain, There Will Be Blood, and Michael Clayton.
Oh, right.
Those were my those were my big ones that I wanted.
3.
So, and Inglourious Bastards. It's a good decade.
Hey, my top 3 for that decade were Inglourious Bastards, There Will Be Blood, and Michael Clayton. So we're on the same page.
Wow. Guys, those are my top 3 too. Look at us.
I guess we've all drafted in that decade now. So my highest ranked for that decade that didn't get picked was Atonement, which is a movie that I feel like I love more than most people do. But
I love that movie too. It's really beautiful. The book is really amazing too.
Are we surprised no one drafted a Lord of the Rings movie?
It's on the
I'm
list.
a little surprised.
I kind of
I'm
am.
a little surprised. Yeah.
I
What
figure.
about The Blind Side? How we feel about that?
Mildly
Right
less
there.
surprised.
Right there.
Extremely loud and incredibly close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one did not make my list.
I will out myself and say that I did have The Blind Side low on my list, just in case something crazy went wrong.
Something went
guys-
awry.
Something just went
matter.
awry. Had to call, do a Hail Mary
Yeah.
at the very end.
I had Avatar up there pretty high. I'm curious where you guys stand on Avatar,
Avatar
but like
I
that
had-
was a big cultural moment.
Yeah, I had that ranked 7 on that decade. So that's pretty high. Yeah,
I like
I
Will
love Lost in
Watermore.
Translation, so I had that.
that's
on
my
my list.
number 8.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Little Miss Sunshine.
Yep.
That was my number
My
2.
top 10 that didn't get drafted were Atonement, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, Avatar, Lost in Translation, Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which is another one that I like more than most people do, Aaron Brockovich, An Education, and Sideways.
Yeah, I had Aaron Brockovich too.
Sideways was on there.
Love Aaron Brockovich.
So good. That's all you got, lady.
Okay, so for my next
Oh, right.
pick,
You're on the turn. You still got one more.
I am on the turn. I'm going to be going with
Which 2 decades do you have left?
so I've got 1970 through 89, and then I've got 2020 through 2024. Those are what I have left on the board. I feel pretty confident about 20 to 24. Not too worried. A lot of things still up in the air, except my beloved Lydia. That's just that was tough. I can't believe I have to relive that right now thinking about this. That's tough. 1970 to 1989. I'm going to go with what's actually number 2 on my list. So Jaws was number 1, picked by Jonathan. I'm going to go with a Scorsese flick. I'm going to be picking Raging Bull for this category.
Good
Yep.
pick.
Nice.
Yep.
Raging Bull never ceases to amaze me. Every single time I watch it. I've seen it like 4 or 5 times at this point. I've seen it on 35 millimeter. I've seen it in my home on Blu-ray. I've seen it on 4K. Like I've seen it on different formats. Every time I'm like, how is it this good? I don't get it. And we've had this conversation before here on this pod, and we will again in the future of like Scorsese. There's a very small other handful of filmmakers where you watch a movie and you're like, well, I think this is the best. And then you watch After Hours and you're like, well, hold on. This might actually find its way up there. You watch Silence. You're like, I think this is the best.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really whatever Scorsese you've seen most recently. Raging Bull, I haven't seen the most recently, but it is, to me, undoubtedly like the movie for this category. Feel pretty good about it. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm the weirdo that thinks Hugo is his best, but I know I'm in an
Oh my
extreme
gosh! Wow,
minority.
that's a take. But I do think what I'll say about Raging Bull too is that I think this is Thelma Schoonmaker's best work.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
I like that. Okay, back down the line here. It's gonna have to come all the way back to me. Boy, we got a long way to wait.
It's me, right? Yeah.
It is.
It is.
Okay. What have I not done? I think it's just the last two categories, the most recent ones. Okay. La La Land really tripped me up. Fuck.
That category is stacked though. Like 2010 to 2019.
Yeah, there's a lot of
arguably
good
the
stuff.
deepest bench.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's not my deepest bench. It's like my second deepest. Or actually, no, it's my third. But the other ones were all kind of like in a tie for two because I just really liked La La Land. Because there's two that are really that I'm going back and forth with. One I think would make my team better, but one I just really like more.
Yeah, the head and the heart.
Go with your heart.
Yeah, I've been going with my heart this whole time. So I gotta
team.
I gotta start being a little bit. You guys have been competing against each other. I need something. Break someone's heart with a pick. Okay, so my 2010-2019 pick is and has to be probably Get Out.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing.
High up on my list too.
Yeah, that was fourth on my list for that decade.
I mean, I think it just kind of, I don't need to explain this to anyone, but like it definitely introduced a whole new way that we talk about race that I think it had always existed outside of the movies, but brought it into the silver screen and I think has been kind of added on to. And I think we're seeing the culmination of the conversation Jordan Peele started with Get Out with like movie like centers right now. So
yeah,
love it. It was tough. It was tied between that and Little Women. So, but I had to go with Get Out.
Yeah.
That's tight. 2017 Academy Awards, honestly, like
some
handful of bangers. Yeah, pretty wild stuff.
Except
Get Out was a good choice.
Get out of here.
Thank you.
Where are we at on the Post? I like the Post. You guys like the Post?
I like the Post.
I love the Post.
I think Meryl is great in the Post.
Found my people.
I really like
it. Yes. Okay, that was exciting. Okay, Daniel, you are up.
Yeah. Okay. So I got first few decades and then the most recent to go with. So I'm going to go with 27 to 69. I had two films at the top that I have no idea how to decide between. I was really hoping one of you would draft one of them, and you have all failed me. So I'm just going to throw it out to the group, and you guys just let me know if one of you strongly wants one of these movies, and I'll take the other because I honestly have no.
Wow.
I just love them both so much, and I can't decide. For me, it's between The Great Dictator and Dr. Strangelove.
Ooh.
Dr. Strangelove was number 2 for me in that category. I know I don't apply, but
both
that's where I was at.
Political satires.
Yeah.
I've already drafted there, so I can't help you.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I guess Great Dictator fits with my anti-Nazi agenda on my team.
That's true.
Oh man. Yeah, I'll go with Great Dictator just in the hopes that maybe one person listening to this podcast that hasn't seen it will see it because it got drafted. The Great Dictator is the first sound film that Charlie Chaplin made. He made it in 1940 before the U.S. were in World War II. And it is just one of the greatest political satires ever made.
Yeah.
I hope people watch it.
I will fulfill that quota for you, Daniel. I will move it to the top of my watch list.
Please do. No shame for not having seen it. We all have our blind spots. I just hope people get to it one day.
Where was that sympathy when I was like, I haven't seen There Will Be Blood, and you guys were like, what the fuck?
Well, there's shame for not seeing
that. You got when to say when you haven't seen something.
Oh, sure, yeah, it is a me problem. You're right. That's why I'm the host of a podcast because I can't not talk.
Well, this year will be the year for you.
This will be the year. Yeah, if I have not seen The Great Dictator and There Will Be Blood by the end of 2025. I can promise you this podcast will not exist in 2026. That's where we stand.
Clip this, people.
Yeah.
Remember.
Remember the day. Okay, good pick. Jonathan, you've got a pick.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm fearful your team is social media, film, Twitter, lock. Like people are going to see you and be like, that's my jam.
I feel like if anything, that's why I picked The Great Dictator over Dr. Strangelove, is because I didn't want my team to be too film bro-y.
God damn it.
Yeah.
All right.
Smart play, frankly.
This is backhanded compliments, I guess. I mean, Dr. Strangelove is on my short list, but I don't know. I mean, The Wizard of Oz is there.
You're going to go see the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere? How are you guys feeling about that?
At the Sphere?
Sphere? Yeah. You guys haven't heard about this?
No.
They're restoring the Wizard of Oz for the Sphere, and they're adding supposedly, quote unquote, AI, embellishments to the film.
I'm here. What?
I swear.
AI what?
Probably, so Toto can speak. That's my guess.
It's a cut song. They gave him a cut song to sing.
Sphere Studios announces 2 new experiences in production. The Wizard of Oz at the Sphere.
That is not a movie you need to see in the Sphere.
Sphere will
use
use
to see in the Sphere.
I agree with that. Will use cutting edge technologies to enhance the original film. Don't know what that means. That's what it says.
No, thank you. I'm full.
John M. Chu is like touching up the film originally, like right before Wicked for Good, probably.
Like, we got to bring these lights down. We got to dim this thing.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of depressing if they're doing like AI stuff, but I'll just take The Graduate.
Wow.
Great pick.
That's a great pick.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Solid pick.
The Graduate is one of the last films that I purchased during a Criterion sale. Had to have it. Perfect movie.
It's a perfect movie, and the ending somehow just gets more painful every time I watch it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Graduate loses to In the Heat of the Night at the 1967 Academy Awards.
And Bonnie and Clyde was also a nominee that year, and that's another case where like The Graduate, Bonnie and Clyde are the ones that history remembers most, and they're probably the 2 best movies in that lineup. But In the Heat of the Night is also a really good film that people should totally see if they haven't.
Mm-hmm.
It was filmed like 30 minutes from where I am right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Sophia, you're going to be the first to finish up your team.
Okay. Well, I think Goodfellas, I think, could be considered a film bro pick, but I got to go with a director who, if I can't take Paul Thomas Anderson, I think I've got to go with a Tarantino. Mm-hmm. And this might be controversial because I know a lot of people don't like this movie, but this is my favorite movie from 2019. I'm going with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think this is such a beautiful movie. Everything in it about Sharon Tate just makes me cry. I think it's so beautiful.
Yep.
And I watch this every year around my birthday. It's a summer annual watch for me. If Inglourious Bastards isn't my favorite Tarantino, it might be this one, honestly. I just love this movie so much.
Amazing.
This great movie.
This is my favorite Tarantino. This is my number 1.
Mm.
So,
have any of you read the novelization?
Yes, I have.
I own it, but I haven't read it.
Yeah,
I recommend it. Sophia, since you love the movie so much, I'm curious what you thought. I really, for those who don't know, the novelization is different in that it doesn't change what happens in the movie, but it changes the order the events are presented in the story. So in the movie, the grand ending of the Manson, invasion, that is not the ending of the book. That's like earlier in the book and almost kind of like tossed off as an aside. Mm-hmm. And then the book ends in a different way. Yeah. And I thought it was really nicely done.
I liked the book a lot too. And they have a hardback that's really nice, but the paperback is cool because it feels kind of like a vintage airport paperback from the time. Yep. So if you're a fan of the movie, I recommend it. I liked the book too.
It feels like a paperback that would be on Rick Dalton's shelf.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, Sophia, now that you have drafted the film, you do unfortunately have to speak on your thoughts on the David Fincher follow-up.
I was just okay.
Are you pro or what?
Well, I'm obviously pro because I love David Fincher, but I'm curious about him doing nostalgia.
Yeah.
I don't know what that will look like entirely. Because I think that's what I really liked about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I don't know, it's interesting though, because I think I like a lot of Fincher's collaborations where he's really, I think, working with another, a strong voice who's working on the screenplay. I like a lot of those. I mean, obviously, I'm excited. It's taking place in the 70s. I want to see it. Like, I want to see a sequel. I want Fincher to get out of Netflix jail.
Yeah.
Yep.
They have him behind 5 sets of bars, man. They have him locked up.
It felt fake, obviously, when the announcement came out because it was on April Fool's Day, and it just felt so bizarre.
Yeah.
But I'm happy it's real.
I mean, at its heart, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is kind of a hangout movie. And I feel like one of the truths of a hangout movie is you want to keep hanging out with those people. And so in that sense, I feel like it's ripe for a sequel.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay. So 1970 to 1989, I am, full disclosure, a 70s girl. This is my favorite decade in film history. So I have so many picks here. And it's just now challenging to decide which one I want. There's so many good ones that I'm going to leave. So I'm just going to go with my heart here. And I'm going to take, I think, my favorite 70s movie. I'm going to go with All That Jazz. Bob Fosse's
Great.
All That Jazz.
That was very high on my list.
It is just one of those movies that when I first saw it, it just completely obliterated me. The ending of that movie, the hard cut, just all of the fantasy of it, how I think, like, for Fosse to also make a movie so self-aware, it's just it's an interesting autobiographical take. So yeah, I highly recommend it for anyone who hasn't seen it. One of my all-time favorites. So All That Jazz. My team is very
And for whatever it's worth to any listener who thinks they don't like musicals, I'm not a musical person, and All That Jazz is a masterpiece. Like, it's the movie. It's for people who think they don't like musicals.
Yeah, totally. Agreed.
I love that movie. That's a really, really good pick. 2 Roy Scheider films from that year, or from that category, worth mentioning. Yeah. Okay, so we got to go back up the slate here and wrap our teams, and we all have to pick things from 2020 to 2024. I'm not sure this has ever transpired before in a draft where we all have to pick from a very specific category to end it. Could get interesting. Could get a little bloodbathy. We will see. Jonathan, can you complete your Film Bro squad?
I know, right? I could just lean in and take Dune or Top Gun Maverick for real.
You really could. You really could.
You could be a brutal boy.
End it off. I could be a brutal boy.
Yes, be a brutal boy.
Take the Brutalist, please.
Do it.
I know Ethan has it at the top of his list.
I will not disclose whether it is on my list.
Barbie. I love Barbie. I have no
Barbie's
problem
great.
admitting I love Barbie.
I do too.
Let's
do that.
Yeah.
I just read a tweet that said the Rizzler meets a cast of Thunderbolts, and now my brain is like all
messed
up here. Gosh, what do I want?
I thought you said at the beginning of the pod that you're going to take Minari. I thought you stuck to that.
No, I was just if I wanted to lean into who I really am at heart, I am Alan Kim basically.
I mean, unfortunately I did not present the names, and now I changed this to circles on YouTube, which but let's see.
Yeah, I noticed you changed my name to the Asian here.
Yeah, interesting. I was just trying to follow with what's been done before. I was just trying to keep a theme for the show.
Yeah, I mean, Minari and Past Lives. I mean, they're right there. I could do that. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. How do I want to end? I guess. I'm not taking Top Gun and Dune, even though I love those movies. I can't. I have to draw the line somewhere. I just can't do it. Man, just because why not? Maybe I'll just, in my head, this makes sense if I split down the middle. If I just go with Anatomy of a Fall.
Damn.
If I just do that one.
That's tough.
I don't know why it makes sense in my head, but it just does to me. So I'm going to take Anatomy of a Fall, a movie I really, really like. I'll leave The Brutalist for you, Ethan. Another movie I love.
So kind of you.
I got you.
I love Anatomy of a Fall. I took this movie in the original screenplays draft with Kevin and Sophie. Stand by that. I think it's a truly great movie. So this was the very first film that I saw at the very first New York Film Festival that I went to. And I was like, whoa, that's really cool. Wait, you can watch at a film festival, because it was the first time I ever went to a festival. Really good pick.
Mm-hmm.
Really good pick.
I saw it for the first time at New York Film Festival too.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dang.
We're just so aligned today.
Look at our
There's a lot of serendipity. Just happened this week, you guys.
A little wild. Okay, Daniel, you've got yours.
So once again, I have, like a top 3 that I really love and was hoping, other people would have drafted some of them and make it an easier choice. So the 3 movies I'm deciding between are Killers of the Flower Moon, The Banshees of Inisherin, and The Zone of Interest.
All starkly different films.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, really different films.
I think I gave them all 5 stars too, so that's a tough
Hell yeah.
call. Yeah.
Tough sell.
Yeah. And The Zone of Interest is the movie that I feel like is just maybe the greatest piece of art I've ever experienced in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Banshees of Inisherin is a movie that just wrecked me personally because it hits on so many of my own fears and insecurities. And then Killers of the Flower Moon, I feel like, is just one of the great American sagas of our time. I guess I'll go with Zone of Interest just to continue my anti-Nazi theme on my team. I'm it's like I'm putting together a team.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll do Zone of Interest.
Okay.
Love that. That was the first movie I saw at TIFF that year.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
in the morning.
Wow.
This is all
very
downhill
first
from there.
movie in the morning.
Well, I bet
walked
we were
out,
at the
I was
same
like,
screening because I saw it that Thursday morning in the press screening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, I'm
My
supposed to watch like 10
screening,
more.
my screening, I think, was at like 9 or 9:30 when I saw it at Telluride, and I had to skip the next movie I was supposed to see. I just like had to take a break. It's like, I can't do this.
Do you remember what the movie you skipped was?
I ended up skipping Anatomy of a Fall, and I saved it for New York Film Festival. I was like,
because
I'm
you
just
knew you
save
needed to see it with Ethan.
There you go.
It's true.
We had to have our serendipitous moment. So
well, okay. I had a whole thing planned because I was going to pick Anatomy of a Fall because the first time I saw it was with my mom, who does not like movies. We watched it together at home, and so every time I get to show her a movie, that's always just a really fun time.
Great.
So
How do you feel about that, Jonathan?
Yeah, so I had a whole thing.
Yeah,
I had a whole thing, but it's fine. Anyways, so I'm gonna go with my second pick. It feels like if you've followed me on Twitter, you're thinking I'm gonna say Barbie. And I'm not. I'm gonna say The Fabelmans.
Oh
wow! What a zag!
You caught me.
Great movie.
Yeah, I'm a Spielberg girly through and through. I saw this at AFI 2-3 years ago. Sitting in the very first row, so I'm looking up at the screen like very, very close, but I also was like 10 feet away from Steven Spielberg and was having a panic attack. So I watched that movie with my neck craned, feeling very grateful for the movies and for Steven Spielberg. So I love that movie. I think it's just so interesting. Semi Fableman, the character of all time.
I love
full
the
circle with Spielberg too. Like starting.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Spielberg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ethan, if you draft West Side Story now, that will mean Sophia is the only one without Spielberg on her team.
Oh wow, yeah, that could be big. It's too bad I don't really vibe with that movie. Shoot, really ruined that one. I like the Fabelmans poll. That's really good. That's a movie that I stand by that I really like more than most.
Yeah. It's good. I don't know why people. Well, I know why people didn't like it, but I feel like people should be nicer to it.
I loved it.
Everyone's really mean to that movie.
Agree. All right, so I've got the last pick. I got to go with 2020 through 2024. We might as well run through this together. I have an honest question for you guys. Super duper honesty time. Just give me your takes. It won't hurt my feelings. Okay. This will in fact determine what I draft right now.
Okay.
So looking at my team and looking at all of your teams, do you think that I have a shot at taking home a win at this draft?
No.
Nah, fam.
Probably not.
You're cooked.
You just follow your heart.
Yeah, who cares, though?
Okay. That was a lot quicker than I thought you guys were going to answer. I thought you were going to stew on it for a minute, maybe. Consider your options.
You have really good movies, but I think we have some film Twitter heavy hitters elsewhere.
Yeah.
Sure.
I feel like a lot of the Twitter voters will not have seen The Fugitive and will think it's just
I knew
crap.
you
and they're
were going to
wrong
say that
because it's a great movie. But
I knew you were going to call it The Fugitive, and I looked at my list and I said that's where I went awry. Was The Fugitive.
I love The Fugitive though.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's like it's a perfect movie.
Just
I didn't kill my wife.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
I don't care. There's no way he would have survived. Okay. Dr. Richard Kimball. You guys really got me on a run right now with The Fugitive. Thanks a lot. Okay. So I don't have a shot in hell at winning this draft as per usual.
Well, we didn't
thanks
say that.
to your wise words. In less words, you did.
Tell us which 3 or 4 movies you're mulling between.
So I already have a Scorsese, right? I've got Raging Bull. I don't really feel like I need Killers of the Flower Moon, even though that would be a little bit nice, kind of vindictive. I didn't get Killers of the Flower Moon on the originals, like the original Streamers draft. Be nice to catch it here. I do have The Brutalist pretty high. I'm not really vibing with that. I just those aren't not really the people I'm after right now. Like I am one of you. I am a brutal boy, but you know what? Let's recognize some other films.
It doesn't sound like it, but.
Yeah, things a brutal boy would never say for 100. Top Gun Maverick would be next. Little Tom Cruise on the team, can't go wrong.
Love that movie.
Maybe not the right draft for Top Gun Maverick. If you're talking about Best Picture losers, there are a lot of good things. Drive My Car is pretty high on my list. Sound of Metal, pretty good as well. Avatar: The Way of Water, there's some heaters out here, but I'm gonna do what everybody expects me to do, and I'm going to feel good about it, and I'm going to sleep good tonight. I'm going to sleep sound, and knowing that this is on my team brings me great joy, great happiness, and maybe one day we will find out who left Snoopy in the vestibule. I'm taking Maestro.
Oh my God.
That was quite the buildup. Wow.
It's just not even on my list.
You took
Are you reining it in?
I love too much. What can I say?
I'll hand it to you. You really got me on that one.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Me too. I thought it was like, okay, we landed on the Brutalist. We're good. But wow, I love it. It's great.
Mission accomplished, honestly.
Wow.
I feel really good about that.
I'm stunned.
That was crazy. I love that buildup.
Fucking love Maestro.
That was the final pick of the draft, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to end on a real down note. Just a real sour spot for the draft. So with Maestro, I have completed the Best Picture Losers draft here on the show. How you guys feel the draft went? You guys feel pretty good about your teams?
Yeah.
I got my top pick in every decade except for one when Jonathan took Pulp Fiction. But I was hoping that would happen so I didn't have to go with 2 Tarantinos.
Wow. Top pick in every. Well, Maestro was number 6 on my list, so I can't say I did this. But I did follow my heart at one point or another. All right, let's go through our teams quickly, and then we can give any honorable mentions that we might think are kind of worthy of this conversation. I did, in fact, draft first. I chose 12 Angry Men in the 1927 and 1969. I got Phantom Thread, 2010 to 2019 category. The Fugitive for 1990 to 1999. Michael Clayton for 2000 to 2009. Raging Bull in 1970 to 1989. And I picked Maestro in 2020 through 2024.
Crazy stuff.
It's remarkable.
That was wild. Okay, so for my team, I picked E.T. the Extraterrestrial for 1970 to 1969, Double Indemnity for 1927 to 1989 with the other one, 1969, Beauty and the Beast for 1990 to 1999, Juno for 2000 to 2009, Get Out for 2010 to 2019, and The Fabelmans for 2020 to 2024. Should I say my honorable mentions now or save them?
We're gonna save them. We're gonna save them for a round table here after we go through our teams. Daniel, you want to go through your team?
Yeah. Okay. So for the 2000s, I took Inglourious Bastards. For the 2010s, I have The Social Network. For the 70s and 80s, I took Raiders of the Lost Ark. For 90s, I got Fargo. For the 20s through the 60s, I took The Great Dictator. And for the 2020s, I took The Zone of Interest.
That's pretty good, man.
Yep.
Looking at your team, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. But then we have Jonathan. Which
in the 70s and 80s, I took Jaws. In the 90s, I took Pulp Fiction. In the 2000s, There Will Be Blood. The 2010s, Damien Chazelle's masterpiece, La La Land. In the 20s through the 60s, The Graduate. And 2020s, I took Anatomy of a Fall.
Mm-hmm. And Sophia?
In the 90s, I took Goodfellas. 2000s, Brokeback Mountain. 1927 to 1969, Sunset Boulevard. 2020s, The Queen, Lydia Tarr for Tar. In the 2010s, I took Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and 1970 to 1989, All That Jazz.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I fear Jonathan has returned for a win. That's what I fear coming out of this draft.
Yeah.
Probably.
I don't want to say it's true, but I worry that might be how things transpire.
I think there might be more voter backlash to La La Land than you think.
There's no such thing as a Damien Chazelle backlash. It's a myth. Never seen it before.
I've never seen it.
Nope. Look, it was my number 2 for that decade. But.
Okay, all solid teams, I would say, in varying degrees. Bobbi, you want to start with your honorable mentions? I know that you probably have some.
I have a specific question for Bobbi.
Yes.
Oh. Before the draft started, you said there was one decade where you just had a top 2.
Yeah.
Which decade was it, and what were the 2?
It was 1990 to 1999, because a lot of the movies that I love from that decade were not nominated in the slightest, or were nominated in different categories. I like a lot of smaller movies from the 90s, I'm not going to lie. So that was a decade I had a little bit of a difficult time with. But they were Beauty and the Beast and The Sixth Sense. Those were my two picks from 1990. For the 27 to 69 category, I had Mary Poppins, Wizard of Oz, Citizen Kane, Sunset Boulevard, and It's a Wonderful Life. 70 to 89, I had All the President's Men, The Conversation, and Star Wars. I already said 90. 2000s, I had Up, a movie that I don't like, but I thought someone was already going to get Juno, so I had it as a backup. Little Miss Sunshine, Aaron Brockovich, and Avatar. 2010s, I had Toy Story 3, Little Women, and Lady Bird, and also La La Land. And then 2020 to 2024, I had Top Gun Maverick, Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Barbie, Past Lives, and Poor Things. So pretty much just the 2023 Best Picture lineup.
Stuck to the single year.
Yeah.
Solid, yeah. I had a lot of those on my short list for sure. Daniel, did you have any honorable mentions that were maybe next in the line?
Oh, so many. I'll just say I ranked like a top 15 to 20 of each category, but I'll just list my top 3 that weren't drafted for each category real fast. For the 27 through 69, my top 3 undrafted were Dr. Strangelove, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and The Maltese Falcon.
Yeah, also on my short list.
70s and 80s, my top 3 undrafted were Chinatown, Dog Day Afternoon, and The Conversation. 90s, top 3 undrafted were The Shawshank Redemption, JFK, and A Few Good Men. 2000s, top 3 undrafted were Atonement, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. 2010s, top 3 undrafted were Roma, Lady Bird, and Hugo, a movie that I love and no one else does. And 2020's top 3 undrafted were The Banshees of Inisherin, Killers of the Flower Moon, and Drive My Car.
Yeah, Drive My Car, that I strongly considered, but Bradley Cooper's nose looked too good to pass up. Jonathan, any honorable mentions you want to toss out?
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned The Wizard of Oz, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I was going to take The Exorcist, Dog Day Afternoon, for sure. JFK, I really like Good Will Hunting. We mentioned The Insider. Shawshank Redemption. And then in the 2010s, I mean, I agree with Tarantino when he said Toy Story 3 is one of the best movies he's ever seen.
Yeah.
I still vividly remember going to the theater as like a stupid little 12-year-old or whatever I was. And that changed my life. Obviously Whiplash, because I'm a Chazelle guy. A lot of other stuff, Little Women, Marriage Story even. And then the 2020s I kind of talked about. Shout out Barbie.
What about you, Sophia?
Yeah, some that weren't talked about or haven't been talked about yet. The Red Shoes, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
That was on the list.
Love that movie. Also The Philadelphia Story, one of my all-time favorite romantic comedies, and The Awful Truth from 1937, another great screwball comedy that I love. The 70s, this is where I have a lot. So a couple have been mentioned already, but I'll just add Barry Lyndon. That's just one of my all-time favorite. It is my favorite Kubrick, actually. Nashville and Cabaret also. Then
I thought about Cabaret as part of my anti-Nazi team.
Oh, that would have been perfect. We could have done double Fosse. Then for the 90s, I also had The Piano, Jane Campion. I also had The Power of the Dog later on, speaking of Jane Campion, because that was another heartbreaking Oscar loss for me.
That was tough. That was
really tough.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I also really love Licorice Pizza. I know that's probably a hot take as well. Being a PTA fan, there are so many, I mean, from the 2020s that we've mentioned. I really did contemplate taking The Brutalist. That was going to, I think, be my play if I didn't get Tar, just because we really put up a fight with that one last year. I remember, like, we were in the trenches with the AI of it all, you know, just like fighting day after day to defend the movie. So
Chalamet
I was going to go with that.
That's Brutal Boys.
They were so interested in technology all of a sudden, those Chalamet
I feel like there's a
fans.
lot of common DNA between Tar and The Brutalist. You know, the movies about the tortured artists.
Definitely.
Yeah, towering individuals. Yeah. And then The Tree of Life also. Is another one for me that went undrafted. But yeah, lots of great ones. I also had all of the Greta, Lady Bird, Little Women, Barbie.
Soon to be Narnia, possibly, when we revisit this draft in 5 years. Yeah, I'm a little surprised no Citizen Kane. I mean, that was like really high up on my list.
I mean, I had that like 9th but you know, again, because the first category is over 40 years, it's just there's so much to choose from.
Yeah, for sure. 70s and 80s things that weren't mentioned: Network and Apocalypse Now was, I mean, and Broadcast News. Like those were pretty tight on my list. We talked about The Insider. Pretty much everything for the 90s on my short list was talked about. Again, we did mention like the surprise of nobody taking a Lord of the Rings film. I also had Avatar. We briefly mentioned that and being like the cultural moment that it was in that 2000-2009 category. 2020 through 2024, we went through it. But I picked Maestro, and I stand by that. I feel really good. And 2010 through 2019 was probably my longest list, but my next few: Moneyball, Marriage Story, Whiplash. I did have The Big Short. I am like a pure and true defender of The Big Short. I know there's a lot of Adam McKay hate out there, but The Big Short did nothing wrong. It's just a perfect film. So
a perfect. Well, sorry. You know what? Yeah, I respect your opinion. Actually, sorry.
Whoa,
that was a natural
live time.
That was a natural reaction. I'm sorry. I held back.
Wow. Wait. So you're out on The Big Short? You're out on Adam McKay as a whole?
No, actually, that's the weird thing about Adam McKay is I'm not out on him, but for some reason, The Big Short just like annoyed the hell out of me when I watched it.
Yeah, you just don't get it. It's okay. We can't all
The
understand
Big Short
greatness.
as a movie didn't annoy me, but Adam McKay's Twitter presence annoys
Fair.
me.
Yeah,
greatly.
Fair. Absolutely. And like I think there's a lot of important things. Daniel, you mentioned Mad Max Fury Road at the beginning of this conversation. Not even talked about. Not even mentioned.
Yeah, I'm really surprised no one drafted that one. I thought it would be number one on everyone else's list.
On the list.
Well, if Furiosa got nominated for Best Picture, I would have taken that. But that is not a reality that we live in, unfortunately. Could have been such a good reality. But these are all the things that lost, and this is the draft that has kind of formed from this reality that we do live in. Thank you guys so much for drafting. This has been a blast. The Best Picture Losers draft. I really feel like there's enough things where we could like run this back for a round 2 eventually, one day possibly. Massive thank you to all of you, Bobbi, Sophia, Jonathan, Daniel, for joining for the draft. Bobbi, if people want to find more of you, where can they find you at?
You can find me on YouTube at Culture Kitsch. I do a lot of video essay stuff about film, TV, wider pop culture. You can also find me on Twitter, being dumb at hi, I'm Bobbi, HIIMBOBBI. I'm also on Instagram too, if you care, but you don't have to. It's fine.
So humble. I love it. Follow Bobbi on Twitter. It's really good. How should I say, exhilarating content? I think is maybe the best way to phrase that.
I could have taken that as a backhanded compliment, but I'm not going to.
No, it's so kind. I just didn't want to say horny on the pod. I stand by that.
There you go.
You broke it out of me. What can I say? Jonathan, if people want to find more of you, where can they find you at?
Yeah, you can find me at Jonathan Fuji on YouTube, Twitter, Letterboxd, Instagram. You can catch me not looking at the comments on any of my Letterboxd reviews. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I took a peek at the Wicked one and it was just destroyed. Just absolutely getting flambéed. So we'll see.
Wouldn't want to be you. At least it doesn't affect your draft appearance, At least you're locked in.
Dude, I got a DM like a week ago that was like, if I ever see you in person, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Oh.
For Wicked.
Wow.
Like, oh my God.
That's
I was like, Jesus Christ.
Those Wicked stands out there. Do not mess with the Wicked people. Sophia, if people want to find more of you, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at Sophia_Sim, Blue Sky, and Letterboxd at Sophia Sim. You can find my podcast, Oscar Wilde, wherever you listen to podcasts. We always cover the current Oscar season, but then also do a lot of retrospectives. So if you like older films, we'll go back and do retrospectives on years past. So those are always fun. And then you can find reviews and interviews at Awards Watch. So I'll have some reviews from the Cannes Film Festival coming up soon there.
Super exciting. Full transparency, you could not make a future recording date because you are in Cannes. And I
That's true.
am both happy for you and sad that we have to push out that recording, but I hope you have the greatest time in Cannes. You're not the only guest upcoming that canceled on me because of Cannes. So
we'll have some good stories.
Yeah,
sure.
You're in good company for sure.
How soon do you leave? When does it start?
Next week. I leave at the end of the next Friday. So very soon.
Wow.
Have fun.
Wow.
Thank
really
you.
exciting. Please DM me immediately after seeing Mission Impossible.
Of course.
I need to know what's going down. I need the takes. Daniel, if people want to find more of you, where can they find you at?
I have a Twitter account that still exists, although I have stopped tweeting in protest of Elon Musk, a protest that I'm sure will, move mountains. I am at Third Man Movies on Twitter and Blue Sky, where I do actually still post. And I'm DJOYAUX on Letterboxd. And just to plug something I wrote recently that kind of applies to everything we've talked about. I wrote a big ringer piece last month that is still my pinned tweet about the greatest Best Picture follow-up movies ever. So I highly recommend people check that out. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, check it out for sure. Daniel, you're always writing excellent things, exciting things.
Thank you.
Sophia, I just followed you on Letterboxd. I do see that Phantom Thread is in your top 4. So valid.
Not just in my top 4, my number 1 spot.
It is in the number 1 spot.
Brutal.
Tough. Yeah, tough.
It's okay.
Oof. What can I say? Be sure to listen and subscribe to the Movie Draft Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're also now on YouTube with video, so you can check us out and make sure that there is no funny business going on when I do spin the spinner. It is not rigged. I just so happened to get first, I promise. New episodes will be released weekly on Tuesdays. We'll see you then.